And what's the average premium, annual premium per sale for you?
For final expense, it usually averages about 700. I think mine might be just a little bit higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say 700 is a good mark.
Okay. And how much are the final expense direct mail leads?
Right now they're $35. With
Okay.
all the inflation, I think they might be going up soon.
Yeah. So okay, so $35 times 20 leads, so $700 weekly investment
Mhm.
ish, right? Whatever, around. And that $700 with $700 of AP per sell and around 10 cells is $700 investment to write 7,000.
Yeah, yep, that sounds right.
That's pretty good. Dude, that's so good. Wow. That's how you 10x a lead investment.
Yeah.
Hey, big interview today, man. First time on the channel. This cat is impressive. He's crushing it. I'm excited if you hear his story. He guarantees that you will learn more from this specific interview than any interview I've ever done. Just kidding. He didn't say that, but it may be true. Please welcome today, Mr. Tim Wright from Austin, Texas. What's up, buddy?
Hey, happy to be here. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Excited to hear your story. We've gotten to hang out several times. Tim is a part of Roger Short, Chris Ball, Zach McElwain, the whole Life Insurance Academy crew, with and his own team, Team True Grit, down in Texas with a bunch of agents, over 20 agents, doing a bunch of field sales. Tim, when did you get started in the business?
I started about 5 years ago. I think it was the very end of 2016 or the beginning of 2017.
Boom, I love it. And what did the first 12 months look like as you kind of take us on this journey?
For me, they were rough because I did a whole bunch of like life stuff all at once. I actually got fired from a job, and then at the same time, I decided to start this, get married, move to Texas, and we did all of that within like a 6 month period.
Boom.
So I had a pretty steep learning curve, and it was a little rough for me just doing all that stuff in a very condensed time space. But also, I made more money than I ever had in my life by, I think it was like $2 on my taxes by the end of the year. So
You made more by $2, right?
yeah,
Than you had ever made before. What was the number before and what was it the first year?
it was somewhere around 55,000, and the previous year though, I had been averaging 57 hours a week
Wow.
with no weeks off, no vacation.
Oh my gosh, bro. Do you miss that?
I do not miss that.
What did you do before too?
At the time, I was running the maintenance department of a large tree service. I was scheduling they did all their maintenance internally. So I was like coordinating with the crews and getting equipment in and out and working with the technicians to get things repaired.
I like it. Okay. And so what's if you think about like 55K, $2 as in like the most you'd ever made. Did you expect to make more? Did you think it would take longer? What were you expecting when you jumped in?
I wasn't really sure, to be honest. I was just mad, and I knew that I was gonna make it work.
Yeah.
And I really didn't know what to expect. So at the end of the year, when I did my taxes and I looked at everything, I was actually kind of shocked.
Okay. And when you look back, what did you do? How did you do it? What did you sell? Did you door knock? Did you use leads?
Yeah, so I started in final expense door knocking with leads, and really I leaned into the mentorship I had because I had Roger and I had Chris, and I have a very close relationship with Chris, so I leaned heavily on him more than anybody else.
He's a
But I
good
also
dude,
had,
man. Big heart. That guy's a big old teddy bear. I love that dude, man.
oh
He's
yeah,
so awesome.
it's so fun making him uncomfortable though.
Yes, yes. And for those listening, okay, if you haven't heard, we're talking about Chris Ball of the Life Insurance Academy, a massive life insurance training brand and arm that's a part of Tim's group, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just leaned heavily into that because this was before Life Insurance Academy was even formed. So I was calling Chris like probably 4 or 5 times a day, just everything he told me to do. Even if he felt like maybe I didn't do something I could have in a house and he told me to go back. I'm like, okay, fine, I'm going back. So I
Yeah.
just leaned heavily into that and I went to work. I used direct mail leads and I just kept my head down as much as I could.
And what did the direct mail lead say? Was it final expense related?
Yeah, they're final expense related, just saying that you may be eligible for benefits not provided by government funds up to a certain amount.
You ever tried those little $5 Walmart gift card direct mail cards where they give people $5 for filling it out and letting them come to their door?
We experimented with those for a short period of time. Yeah.
Did you just end up with worse potential clientele? Not bad people, but just desperate people, maybe?
Yeah. Desperate people. Still like some good conversations. I was still able to help people, but there were quite a few people who were really just like, what do I got to do to get that card?
I need the $5, bro, please.
Right. Sometimes I just gave it to them because I knew they needed it.
Yeah. Well, dude, that's cool, man. So where's that come from? Right. So you care a lot. Like we've gotten a chance. I didn't mention this, but we've gotten a chance to, well, look, we've hung out like multiple times. I would say at least 3 or 4 different occasions. I mean, we had last year's Power Producers. We had this year's Power Producers. I was I was there for the Impact Summit in Louisville.
Yep.
It's been
we had just a little bit of time with you at 8% last year too.
Yeah, that's right. Boom. That's the big one. Okay. Sorry, Roger. That's the big one. Okay. So where's that come from, man? Because I've noticed that about you. And that's what I was saying. I've noticed it about you. Like you have a big heart. You care. You will do whatever it takes. Like agents watching, I'm telling you, like this cat will help you make more money and get serious about sales. And he'll show you the ways to do it and the right ways. And you'll make more than you're making now, right? Especially if you'll work and listen, which is so hard. Where's that come from for you though? That care piece?
I think a lot of it, to be honest with you, is just stuff I experienced as a kid. Like, just seeing or wanting, I don't know, wanting there to be more care about certain things in the world. Just general observations about how, everybody's so busy and, there's so much hunger or thirst for attention. And a lot of times it's not the right attention.
Yeah.
So I think I want people to win. I want them to feel important and I want them to be able to achieve what they want to. And I mean, that doesn't exactly translate to what I'm doing with my clients other than making sure that they're heard and that their needs are being met. But I just have this general desire for people to just know that they're valued.
Yeah. What was your childhood like? Does some of it come from that? Like talk through that, like parents, siblings, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I think a lot of it stems from the fact that both my parents were previously divorced. I'm the only child between them. So I've got a half brother from my dad's previous marriage and 2 half sisters from my mom's. And so I saw, especially with my mom, my sisters were still younger. We're 3 and 7 years apart, I believe. But as they were growing up, their father was not exactly the most honorable person, and he did a lot of things to like intentionally hurt my mother and like try to take my sisters away from my mom, which, as they aged and they realized what was going on, it's kind of swung the other way. But at the time, I was like a 6 or 7 year old child, and that took a lot of attention that I probably needed as a child away from me, and focused it more on, what was going on with my sisters and the pain that was caused there. So it caused my mom to withdraw quite a bit just because of the emotional pain that she was going through in that.
What did you learn from that? Like it's 6 or 7, man. I want to talk about that a little bit. Like what looking back now, what did you learn from that you used later in life, maybe in business, in your marriage now, et cetera?
It took me a long time. I probably didn't realize this until the last like 5 or 6 years, but it made me realize that it's okay to call out and like speak to when people are hurting instead of ignoring it, because I feel like that's really what was kind of going on. And I don't think my dad knew how to handle it at the time. He did his best. But just, my mom just kind of withdrew. I don't think she felt like she had the support that she needed. And, if we had been able, like, obviously as a child, I can't speak to it as a child, but as an adult,
Yeah.
I think if you're able to recognize when people are hurting and speak to that and pull that out of them so that they can be open and work past it so they can be the person they're supposed to be instead of the person they're
Mm.
withdrawing into.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that makes a huge difference.
I feel like Chris Ball is really good at that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from the LIA team, Life Insurance Academy. I feel like he's really good at that. And he's not afraid to do that. Like some people are like, it's kind of awkward. You know what I mean? It's not fun. It's like, well, what if I say the wrong thing?
Yeah.
Talk about importance of mentorship and learning from others. And, no matter how you were raised or what you learned from family, you can still continue to learn and can still continue to plug in to the right people to really evolve you and your potential.
Yeah. That's a heavy thing because in order to lean into mentorship, you have to trust. And a lot of people
Mm.
have a hard time doing that. And, there's a lot of people that aren't trustworthy. So you got to take some time and just, listen to people and lean into them and take a chance. But once you have found somebody that you can trust, they're speaking the right things and the actions are supporting those right things. They're not just speaking it, giving it lip service and moving on.
Yes.
Um, Once you know that that trust is there, like you need to just lean in and follow that because that's going to help you be exposed to more that you couldn't see before and open up many, many more doors and allow you to ask better questions and start moving in new directions you didn't even know existed.
That's good, man. This is deep. This is solid, by the way. You guys listen to man. Later on YouTube or whatever you watch this later. I want you to post some comments, ask some questions. I want you to be engaged in this thing. I want you to like stop at some point during this, and reach out to Tim Wright with a W and talk to him and let you know let him know what you're going through and how he can help because I promise you he can. When you think through this and trust. What if someone struggles with how to identify whether they can really trust someone and they're very guarded and it takes them time? How did they identify that? How did you identify that?
Yeah, I can't remember. There's a phrase, and I've kind of been living by it for the last 5 or 6 years.
Mm.
And it goes somewhat along the lines. Now that you put me on the spot, I'm not gonna remember it
Yeah,
verbatim.
you're good.
But it goes along the lines of like, I don't really care what you say. I care what you do. I believe in what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So it really is the whole actions speak louder than words. You have to kind of give litmus tests for everything. And you just have to match up words and actions and make sure that they align.
Yes.
And I started doing that, right? I started looking at people and they could tell me whatever they wanted and it could sound really good and I could be really excited about it. But if I started moving and I noticed that they weren't moving, I was like, okay, wait a second. There's something out of alignment here. Either we need to have a conversation because I misunderstood, or this person is not about what they say that they're about.
Correct. Yes. That's good, man. That's strong. Okay. So you're evolving 55K your first year. What do you feel like you did good your first year? Like that maybe a lot of agents don't do well. Why you like 55K first year is higher than the average. Looking back, if you knowing what you know now, if you could go back, you would obviously slaughter it. However, what advice could you give that you really learned through that process and things that you did that most people just won't do?
I believe that I could do it. That was the biggest thing like I said, I was angry at the time. I had just been fired and I was fed up. I wanted to be
Did that fuel you? Did that fuel you?
Yeah, absolutely. It did. Because Chris tried recruiting me about 4 times previously, and every time I was like, I don't think so.
Are you naturally competitive too?
No, but I'm slightly vindictive.
Okay.
But not in an unhealthy way. I try to to me, success is the best revenge type of vindictive.
Yeah, it can be for sure.
So like if you betray me, yeah, I'm gonna find a way to make you regret that, basically.
That's good, man. That's good. Does the previous employer know how well you're doing now?
I'm pretty sure that they know. I'm in touch with a lot of people who are there. I don't know if anybody's ever told them, but a lot of the people that I worked with do know. And a lot of people that I work with who have left since on their own accord have reached out to me and thanked me and told me that they wish they had left sooner.
Wow. And you'll end up bringing people into your organization too to work with you because of that experience. So really, it was a blessing.
Yeah.
It's funny about life, man. It feels like a curse. It feels like at the time it's like a stab in the back, something you'll never recover from. But it was really probably one of the biggest blessings of your entire career.
Yeah.
Talk
It
about
was
that.
an amazing catalyst.
Yeah, huge catalyst, like a big launch pad, right? Yeah. Okay, so belief. What else?
Um, I tried to do the work as much as I could. Like obviously I had a lot of challenges because of time frame. So I didn't have as much availability in my schedule as I probably needed, but
Yep.
I trusted Chris. I went to work. If I had a problem, I called him. That was probably the second biggest thing I did was if I had a challenge, I called Chris. I didn't try to like lone wolf it. If I was like having discouragement or doubts, I just called Chris and he either walked me through what was going on or he gave me a pat on the back or a kick in the butt, whichever it was I needed. And that helped me get through that first year. So I would say belief that I could do it. And then the second part was in the times where my belief wasn't so strong, I leaned into someone who believed in me.
Yes. Someone. That's good. You were making me think of some Vanilla Ice lyrics, man. When you're like, I got a problem, and yo, Chris Ball is gonna solve it.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so belief in you, belief in someone else. Okay, so then let's fast forward through your career a little bit. So you've been in the business 5 years and just over, and you have about 20 agents on your team now ish. You got people coming on, some that aren't producing, are producing, whatever, right? It's never like a perfect number. So how have you evolved as a leader and as a team lead over these last few years? As you started to become more successful, you start to attract others to you. How's that helped you, and what have you learned?
I've learned to be a lot more emotionally level. And I know that externally, I'm the type of person that my emotions seem like they're level all the time anyway. But
That's a good point, because you're right. It totally seems like your emotions are like this all the time, right?
And they're not.
Okay. I probably don't come across that way as much as you do, So
Right.
that's cool.
Yeah, actually a very emotional person. So like the fact that there's been some leveling out and I've learned to kind of like trust in the system, trust in the process, not get too emotionally invested in any one thing, understand that, especially when it comes to leading other people, they're going to do what they want to do. And all you can really do is offer the path and reach your hand out, and they're either going to take it or not.
Yes.
Right? And to not be chasing people and trying to like, save every single person.
Correct.
But really just pulling and leaning in and working hard with the people who are reaching out back to you and actually want to win.
Yes. Okay, so you used the word system. Mm-hmm. When you look at what you have available to agents, what is that weekly? I'm not saying you gotta give away all the secret sauce, but what does that weekly system look like that you plug agents into now to help them create success?
Well, we have the training system. You're aware of that.
Yep.
I just try to keep contact with them every single week, touch base with everybody, make sure that they have their goals, and, throughout the week, make sure that they know that I'm available, check and see how they're doing.
Yep.
And at the end of the week, see if they achieved their goal. If they didn't, what adjustments do we need to make? Do we need more training? Do you need to go back to Life Insurance Academy? Do you need to talk to me? Do you need to get in my car? Like, what's going on? What do we need to help you? Or sometimes, do you just need a pat on the back? Do you need a kick in the butt? What is it?
Send you to the principal's office,
Right.
Do you, so training system, weekly contacts, goal check-ins, how many leads do you recommend? Like, what's that look like? Okay, you should really door knock or set this many, sit with this many, sell this many. Like, what's that metric look like from a system standpoint?
I think if you're a full-time agent, you should probably be taking if you're door knocking, you should be taking about 20 to 25 leads a week. I found that, let's just say 20, because it's a round number. I found that of usually about 20 leads, I can usually see like 15 to 16 people. I can
Mm.
only sit with maybe 10 or 12 of those. And most of the time, I get close to the same number of applications as I do sits, just because you'll have people that say no, but you also have couples, and you'll write more than one policy in a home.
And what's the average premium, annual premium per sale for you?
For final expense, it usually averages about 700. I think mine might be just a little bit higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'd say 700 is a good mark.
Okay. And how much are the final expense direct mail leads?
Right now they're $35. With
Okay.
all the inflation, I think they might be going up soon.
Yeah. So okay, so $35 times 20 leads, so $700 weekly investment ish, right? Whatever, around. And that $700 with $700 of AP per cell and around 10 cells is $700 investment to write 7,000.
Yeah, yep, that sounds right.
That's pretty good. Dude, that's so good. Wow. That's how you 10x a lead investment.
Yeah.
Okay. This is good, man. This is good. And I'm wondering who else listening. Okay. I want you to throw in comments, man. Like what would happen in your business if you had someone like Tim Wright who could show you how to consistently 10x a lead investment, right? What about those that are like, I'm scared of door knocking, man. I don't know if I want to go to somebody's house or sit.
I get it. I grew up in the country and I was taught that you don't ever set foot on anybody else's property unless you're invited. And I live in Texas. So, there's signs that are like, do you believe in God? Trespass here and you'll find out. Stuff like that, right? Those, by the way, those end up being the nicest people on the planet that have all those signs up. But I would say just get over it, right? It's kind of an ego thing. Like, you're supposed to help people. They filled out a card. They're asking for it. You're not exploring their property, trying to like steal anything. You're making a beeline for their door. You're there for a purpose. Knock on the door. The UPS guy does it all the time. You can do it too.
That's exactly right. That's a really good way to look at that. And it's kind of funny. A lot of people put those things up as like a way to like scare people and make them think twice about stealing or coming on their or trespassing, etc., because they are just good people and nice people,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like they're just going to shoot some random person that comes on. Maybe they would, but most of the time they wouldn't. $700 to write 7K. Can anybody do that?
I would say anybody who works really hard and is coachable can. I think that it is very, in this industry, as you know, like I think it's really, 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 really rare that someone just doesn't have the competency to do it.
Yeah.
Or competence to do it, rather.
Yeah.
So I think if you're willing, like I said, put in the work, and if you are willing to be coachable, and I think that's the hardest piece because you have to set aside your ego. But if you can do that, then yeah, there's no reason why you can't, with 20 leads, go out and write $7,000.
Yes. Yes. How does an agent reach out to you if they want to do that and learn more?
What's
the best way?
The best way is probably going to be my email, to be honest with you.
That's cool. What is that?
It is Twright, TWRIGHT, at advanceteampartners.com. And that is advance without a D on the end.
Yeah, there's no advanced.
Like move forward, not advanced like progressed.
Yes, advance, ADVANCE, no D, team partners with an S.com. Twright at advancedteampartners.com. Boom. Okay, that's good. And what if an agent's kind of scared about reaching out or shooting an email, or they're like, well, I don't know, man. Well, what if somebody's just struggling? Like, how can you close us out? Words of wisdom, some motivation, some advice to someone out there that is not writing $7,000 every week, and they're just, or maybe they're not even writing 700 a week. I talked to a guy recently that was like, yeah, I spend he spent $360 a week, and he wrote $400 to $800 a week. That's not scalable. It's not even, I mean, the margins aren't there. You can't even run a business that way. There's no cash ever. You know what I mean? So what do you think about people out there like that?
To be honest, like one of the biggest pet peeves I have about the industry as a whole is a lot of people have had some bad experiences. So I understand the feeling of, being a little like snake bitten, wondering if there are people who truly are motivated by helping you win. And so I would just say, like, don't let your past hurts prevent you from being successful in the future, because there are people out there that want you to win. And in fact, if they're listening to this or watching this, obviously they know that because you're a prime example of that. So there are people out there who want you to win, and our organization is one of them. And if you need help, we will absolutely do whatever we can to try to point you in the right direction at the very minimum.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I love it, brother. Dude, thank you for sharing all this nuggets. 700 into 7K. Tim can help anybody do that every single week. They even walk through, I'm talking the training videos, the scripts, the role playing, the check-ins, the goal setting. Like, it's a lot of one-on-one help, and it's phenomenal, and he's doing it in a big way. So, dude, thank you for everything you're doing for the industry. Thanks for helping all the agents, and thanks for your time on today's interview.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you, brother. Excited to get to know you continually. We met several times. You're going to be, I believe you'll be at 8% in 33 days.
Absolutely. I'm bringing you some wine.
Boom, dude. I love it, man. Thank you. Okay. I love wine. So you guys ever want to spoil me and get my attention, man, just send a nice bottle, bougie bottle to the office, right? Now, don't have to be too bougie, but there's a lot of, there's a lot of $30, $40, $50, $60 bottles that I like, as well.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a helpful hint. We found a Barolo, which is the king of wines, at Trader Joe's for like $14, and it's just as good as some of the bottles we've had that are like 3 figures.
That's crazy. Well, if you're listening, you're like, bro, I want to hang out with you guys and drink some wine. The opportunity is going to be there. Okay. Thanks for listening. Huge thanks to Tim. Hope you enjoyed today's interview. Reach out to Tim, make a comment, let us know what you think, and we'll see you on the next interview. Hey, one of the agents in our Rising Star program won a free coaching call with me. We literally just got off a Zoom where we did 30 minutes together, and I'm gonna actually give you the advice that I gave him also for free. This specifically is and I won't use names, but I'm gonna go over some details, okay? This was a new